So this next room we're going to enter is the John Morse room, also known as the murder room. And this is where the body of Mrs. Borden was found. But before that, Mrs. Borden was last seen alive at 9 a.m. by her stepdaughter, the infamous Lizzie Borden, and the maid named Bridget. Emma, Lizzie's sister, was out of town at the time, and Mr. Borden and Uncle John were away in Fall River. And at the time of the murder, Lizzie said that she was downstairs ironing handkerchiefs. And the murder room is now the most requested room to stay in at the historic Lizzie Borden Axe Murder House and Museum. So it's very odd. There doesn't really seem to be any sign of a struggle, and we aren't exactly sure what the last moments of Mrs. Borden really were. But we do know what her wounds were. Above her ear, on the left-hand side, was gashed, and she had a 4-inch deep blow between the back of her shoulder blades. And if that wasn't enough, there was 17 more wounds to the back of her neck and back of her head. She was found face down in a pool of her own coagulated blood, and between this dried blood and her stomach contents, we were able to discern that she died around 90 minutes earlier than Mr. Borden did. In the photo on the wall in the dining room where the autopsy was performed, you can see Mrs. Borden lying face down on her stomach in a pool of her own blood. In the mirror in the photo, you can see the camera that took the photo, actually. And did you know that the photos of the Borden murders were actually the very first crime scene photography that was ever done in the United States? I wonder what it is about this case that made the police officers so intrigued and so feeling the need that it was necessary to take photos for the first time. But because of that, we have the photos that you were able to see here today.